Hello everyone, and welcome back to another video where I talk about foreign movies that are very scary. Now, if you saw my first video, I picked out 3 Spanish horror movies because I speak fluent Spanish, so I watch a lot of Spanish horror films. But in today's video, I'm happy to tell you that I chose 3 movies that are non-Spanish speaking horror movies. They're 3 different languages, so let's jump straight into it. The first film that I want to talk about is called Sputnik. It is a Russian horror movie about an alien, and this movie is spectacular. I remember seeing the trailer of this movie in an American theater over here in Colorado. Seeing that, I'm like, I definitely want to watch that. And we don't get a lot of foreign horror movie or foreign movie trailers, period. I mean, that shit really needs to stand out. And unfortunately, it came out during 2020, so I did not see it in the movie theater. But when I did get a chance to see it, I fell in love with it. It is dark, creepy, and intense as f***. And if you like movies such as Alien, then this is right up your alley. And if you don't like Alien, what the f*** is wrong with you? I mean, Alien's one of the best movies of all time. But with that being said, there hasn't been a lot of movies about aliens that are at that level like Alien. Jesus, I'm saying Alien a lot. But you get what I'm saying. Like, there's movies about aliens, but they're just not great. This movie is great. The design of the creature is fantastic. It also has a very unique way. Although it is similar to Alien, it is different enough for it to stand on its own. The actors are really good and believable, and on top of all of that, the story itself is really good. It's not just some regular run-of-the-mill horror movie that, you know, Hollywood dumps out every January and over the summer just to hit quotas. No, this movie is in fact worth watching, worth taking time out of the day, especially if you're a horror fan. And the reason why I find the story to be like above average is because it's taken place at the height of the Cold War, so it's super dramatic. It feels grounded in reality, and we get to explore interesting themes such as the extremes that governments are willing to go to get the upper hand in war, how they're willing to treat people during times of war, and for the benefit of research. Like, for example, there's a scene, and I'm not ruining the movie, but there's an alien, and you know that through the trailer and through the poster of the movie. But in order to keep this alien alive, this is very similar to Stranger Things, where they feed the Demogorgon the prisoners. Well, in this movie, they feed the alien prisoners, and it makes you wonder a little bit about that moral question of, you know, is it correct to, like, these people are bad people, and we're using them in the name of science, but it's still very savage and just feels wrong when you're just throwing those humans to that monster and it just shreds them to pieces. And the protagonist has some depth to her, and we see her have to deal with harsh realities and making tough choices throughout the film. So all in all, I give this movie an A+. Don't let the Russian speaking scare you away. Read the damn subtitles. This movie is one of the best horror movies I've seen. The next foreign horror movie that I want to talk about is called Gonjiam Haunted Asylum, which is a 2018 South Korean found footage supernatural horror movie, and is by far the scariest foreign horror movie I've ever seen. I know in the last video I said that my favorite foreign horror movie was The Orphanage, but favorite and scariest have 2 different meanings. The scariest foreign horror movie I've seen is Gonjiam Haunted Asylum. Facts. I saw this movie at the University of Florida with my goddamn good friend Eric in my dorm, and we were drunk and high, so you know that does play a factor in it. But we're in college, okay? So chill out. This is good old college days, and we watched that movie because I love found footage horror movies, so that was like all the movies that I was watching. So a typical like Friday night for me, loser by the way, but a typical Friday night for me would be like get drunk with a friend, go online, look up top 10 like found footage horror movies, best found footage horror movies, look through the list, find a movie, watch it, call it a night. And so that time we watched
Haunted Asylum, because it's
said by the internet that it's one of the scariest found footage horror films, if not the scariest. So I was like, I gotta check this one out. And you know what, bro? They don't disappoint. The Google did not disappoint, because god damn it, that shit was creepy. That lady with the black eyes just whispering into the camera, oh my god, that scene is freaky as hell. There's also this scene where like this girl is coming out of this well. That, dude, I don't know if that took inspiration from The Ring, but man, that shit reminds me of The Ring, which is one of my favorite horror movies ever. And I gotta mention this scene towards the end where you see like a figure in the room moving and then staying still, and it's just teasing the out of you because the scene lasts way longer than it should. Like, you're just waiting for the jump scare, and it's like, when is it gonna happen? And it's just blue balling the out of you, and then the jump scare comes, bro. So annoying. But one of the big reasons why I love this movie is because I've been obsessed with like exploring abandoned buildings, abandoned asylums, abandoned hospitals. And I'm also been obsessed with YouTube and vlogging and making videos, so it's always been a fascination of mine to like grab a crew, go to a haunted castle or the Queen Mary where allegedly a lot of people died, and just vlogging the entire experience with all my friends. Kind of like the movie Grave Encounters, very similar to that. But that's always been a dream of mine. It still is. I mean, I'm a YouTuber. If I make a lot of money, bro, I'm definitely doing that. But this movie is kind of like a peek into that world because the main characters of the movies are a crew of a horror web series that is very popular online. If you like found footage, if you like supernatural horror movie, especially if you like Japanese or Asian horror culture, you 1000% have to watch this movie. This movie is spectacular because it's all three of them combined. It utilizes the found footage gimmick very well. It is a must watch for horror fans. The last movie that I want to talk about is called Martyrs. Now, it's tough for me to say that I like this movie or that I enjoyed this movie or I would even recommend this movie because it's just so intense and so graphic and violent that I don't think I'll ever rewatch that movie, for example. I don't ever feel the urge to rewatch that. However, it is a very notorious film in the horror community. It is on level 3 of the disturbing movie Iceberg. If you're curious enough and you feel like you can muster the courage, then Martyrs is the movie for you. It is a French horror film about two young women who were both victims of abuse as children embark on a bloody quest for revenge, only to find themselves plunged into a living hell of depravity. And this movie is a wild ride of a roller coaster, okay? And it's hard to call it a horror film for me, because it just feels like a bloody, graphic, violent movie, which is not necessarily horror, like, you know what I'm saying? I understand there are aspects to it that are horror. Like, for example, one of the characters is so traumatized that she has like schizophrenia or something where she sees shit that's not actually there, and the shit that she sees is very creepy. But other than that, it's not really a horror film. It's very disturbing. Like I said, there's images that make you just want to like not look at the screen, and it's just something that you don't enjoy watching, like I said. But there are some jump scares, there are some creepy aspects to it. But the reason why I'm including this movie on this list is because I think it's a very unique movie in terms of like torture. If you've watched all the movies like Saw, Hostel, Terrifier, they all pretty much use torture in the same way in the movies, and they're all mainstream at this point, so they have the same formula for all of them. But this movie utilizes torture and brutality in a very unique way, especially during the beginning of the movie. And the ending is very unique as well and is up to your interpretation. I think it's a little bit too much for me, but like I said, this movie is a roller coaster ride. It goes a little bit all over the pace. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. It is a movie that I wouldn't suggest if you don't have what it takes. Like if Terrifier 2 was a lot for you, this movie's up there, you know? But those are another 3 foreign movies that I find genuinely scary. Let me know down in the comments, have you guys ever seen Martyrs or Haunted Asylum or Sputnik? Let me know if you guys enjoyed those movies. Give this video a thumbs up. Comment below some other foreign movies that I may not have talked about. Obviously, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.